And I'm live, I think. Hello, hello. Looks like a couple of people are here already. I got here early, wow. Early. Can anybody hear me? Gonna kill a few minutes, let some people show up. I didn't really give any warning that I was gonna do this, just like an hour. Hello, Scott Garvin. Hello. Hello. So a few people are waiting. I haven't done a live stream in a while. Kind of forgot how it worked. But how hard can it be? As long as I keep a good connection. I've never actually live streamed with this phone before. This is a newer phone. Remember my last phone? The one with this nice smash in it? So how's everyone doing? How about you, Scott? Don't throw it again. No promises. It doesn't work at all. It won't turn on. Well, it'll turn on, but like I can't use the touchscreen and it doesn't show up. This was a couple phones ago. One that got smashed. This one is still good, and then I was done with it. I got this one, and then I lent it to my dad, and he put it in the little pocket on the door of his truck and shut it, and it just smashed the lid. Then he gave it back to me. Like, thanks. How am I doing? Pretty good. A little chilly because I'm out in the garage. I'm out in the garage, and the door is wide open, so that makes it a little extra chilly. But not too bad. It's actually, I think it's above freezing right now. So, not bad at all. I don't have any heat on. So the heater that I built, it's interesting. Every year that it gets really cold, like in February or so, that garage heater video just skyrockets in views. So tons of views on the garage heater. But I didn't actually use it this year because I stole the power cord off it for a different project. And I haven't put another power cord on it. So it's still over there on the shelf, and I have another power cord in a bin up on the shelf, but it's not here. Hello, John McCann. Greetings from Arizona. Silly animations, not freezing here. That's good. It's not freezing here either. Barely. Tonight it's going to be freezing. Thought it broke when a light fell on it. It did get pretty screwed up. That's for sure. It got really screwed up when the light fell on it, but it's not like broken. It's very Paul thing. Hey. Thank you very much, Cone Dodger. Also, welcome, Cone Dodger. It's been a while. I haven't been streaming, and I don't think I've dropped in on one of your streams in a little while. I should remedy that at some point. But yeah, no, the garage heater. Hang on, I'll go grab it a second. Here's the heater part of it. There's a couple bits to it, There's one of the safeties. But yeah, it got like smashed when the light hit it, but I just kind of bent it mostly back, and now it still works, or it would work if the power cord's not on. The power cord I attached, like, remember when I built that heat treat oven and I had that controller? That's where the power cord went. Yeah, I should probably fix that at some point. Put the power cord back on, because it is chilly, although it's a bit late. Tobomat, hello. So what I've been doing is cleaning up, if I can get my tripod to adjust, cleaning up my workbench. This was extremely filthy. Now it's still really filthy, but there's less stuff on it. So I could clean it if I wanted. And that's because I'm going to get back on the lathe project. I was going to go from that playground thing to the 3D printer, like the multi-material upgrade thing, and then to the lathe, but I ran into a snag with that. It's the kit, it's the MMU2S kit or something, and that's for a Mark III or a Mark 2.5 Prusa printer, and I have a Mark II, so it doesn't fit. So I thought, okay, fine, no problem. I'll just get the upgrade kit, the 2.5 or the 3 upgrade kit. But that's discontinued. So I'm kind of trolling around, waiting for one to pop up secondhand, and I'll buy that, and then I'll convert it over to the multi-material upgrade. So I'm just kind of waiting, just sitting there waiting for one to pop up on eBay or whatever, and I'll grab it, because I figure like just discontinued it, so someone's gonna get it. like for Christmas last year or something, and decide they don't want it and then try to sell it. 3D print the upgrade. Yes, yes, that is the point. But I need, I think primarily I need the whole extruder assembly is different. So yeah, although there are a lot of parts that I'm gonna have to 3D print. A lot of the upgrade parts, any of the plastic bits, you have to 3D print. You have an Ender 3 one. A lot of people have said, a lot of people have told me those are pretty nice. I was thinking like if I can't get one of these upgrade kits, I might just have to like save up a bit and then just buy a Mark III and then convert it to a multi-material. So that would be kind of neat. Kill It's Gaming. Hello. 90% of parts printed. Of all parts printed. Yeah, a lot of it does get printed, I think. Yeah. Well, I have the Mark II. Like if I do a lot of stuff in the future, like I'm probably, if I can't get the upgrade kit, I'm just going to leave the Mark II as is because it's not wore out or anything. So then if I might in the future, sometime later this year, if I get any extra cash, I'll just get a Mark III because they're bigger too. The Mark III is a little bigger, which is kind of neat, I suppose. Mark III converted to Mark 2.5. Get MMU kit. Yes, there you go. Backtrack it. Backtrack the Mark III to a 2.5. The guy who just suggested that has a Mark 2.5. Hello, Ralph. Is your phone something? Upset? Is it upset? Does it seem upset? Is it not working? It seems to be okay to me, but it could be lying to me. Scott Gavin, any future melting videos? In the future, yes. So getting back on the lathe thing is going to require some melting stuff. Then you see my giant stack here of motors. That's a lot more aluminum. Oh, and I bought it was out of propane, so 2 of these are fully loaded propane tanks. Just getting ready for some of that. Although I have to get another regulator. I have to get another regulator for the burner, for the melting furnace. You're getting more JPG than Hank Hill. Maybe, hang on. Is anyone else having connection issues? Robert, hello. It says I have a fair signal, but I might have to... Do you get the motors from your job? Yes. You'll be here until your phone dies. Excellent. I do get the motors from my job. Pretty much all of those are dryer motors, like clothes dryer motors, and they're all toast. A couple of them are washer motors, and the motor part isn't toast. One of those I'm saving to stick on the lathe. Actually, it's got like an output shaft on both ends. One end's a water pump, and one end is transmission. And the end with the transmission has these flat spots, and it's just rounded right off. So basically, it's totally junk. You can't use it for a washer. So I'm just going to use the other end and use that to power the lathe when I get to that part of the lathe. And that motor is not in the pile. That motor is, I think it's on top of the fridge. I set it aside, fully functioning. And it's not just a normal motor. It's a 3-speed, forward and reverse AC motor. Use one for a go-kart. It would have to be a corded go-kart. I would have to plug it into the wall because it's an AC motor. Although a 3-speed forward and reverse, I think it's like a 0.5 horsepower, so it'd be a fairly quick little go-kart, I suppose. I had a 24-volt battery set up to put in the Jeep. Remember I was going to do that, and yeah. So long story short, one of the batteries melted, so it's not 24-volt anymore. Don't forget to hit like. Sure, yes, hit like. I don't know why, but I don't like saying that. It just bugs me. Are you going to go back to casting videos? Eventually, I'll do, well, I'm definitely going to be doing some metal casting. Probably not in the next month, but eventually, although I'm probably not going to be like doing a whole ton of casting videos in a row. I'm just going to be doing casting when it serves the project, which fortunately the project is, the lathe, I don't know why I'm looking over there. The lathe project will require more casting. Although first step for going back to the lathe project was cleaning the workbench, which is mostly clean. Second part, which I wasn't anticipating, is finding where I put all the parts. because I haven't messed with that in a while. And in fact, this garage, like take a look. Let me see if I can switch camera. There we go. The garage. See how there's like space? Well, there wasn't space. There was a car in here, and then like a whole bunch of other junk, and and the Jeep, which is hidden out of sight, and a snowblower, and like a bunch of potted plants. Like there's a potted plant that was in here. It was so full of crap that I couldn't even get to this part of the garage for like a month. So I had, well, longer than a month, but it was challenging. So I had to clean out a whole bunch of stuff. This is like my last week, right? Whole last week and last weekend, cleaning everything out, getting everything out of here, and getting the car backed up. And the car was dead, battery was dead, and had a flat tire. So patch the flat tire, fill it up, charge it, back it out here, cross your fingers that it starts, which it was a little challenging. And there, now I have space. Unfortunately, I got to bring the car back in and a bunch of the other stuff when it's nighttime. Well, I don't have to bring the car back in, I suppose, but I'm gonna. All right, I just saw some more chat come in. Come on. Somebody say Jeep? Yes, I did say Jeep. I did say Jeep. CJ, is that even legal? I don't know. Don't tell the cops I cleaned out my garage. Don't tell anyone, because they might bring stuff for me to store for them. Thinking of making the forge you made. Which forge? You mean like the one that was parts that it would stack up and the burner came through the top? That was pretty nice, but that has been retired. And I'm going, in the future, if I need to forge anything that's large. Wait, I don't know why I just did that. I'm going to use this thing because I can pop the lid off and also stick things through, take that off and stick things through the hole. Because I use the bricks that I had cut up. I'm using those bricks for other projects. 1.5 car garage, 2 sheds, and it's crammed. Yeah, it fills. It all fills up. And Practical Renaissance, hello. Smiley face to you too, sir. I noticed your stuff popping up again. You took a bit of a break there. I mean, I should talk. I occasionally take a break too. It'll be quite a while between videos. In fact, I haven't done anything productive out here in like 3 months. Although some of you asking, some people were asking in the previous video, the end of the video where I was doing the playground thing, someone said post a picture when the new slide is up. Post a picture on the community tab. I have to do that yet. The slide came in, I put it together, and it's up, and the kids have officially moved in. And there's a rug up there, and they put a bunch of toys underneath it, and it's all moved in. I just haven't taken a picture yet, but they are definitely enjoying it. Although the slide, something about the slide, when the kids go down it and get to the bottom, it has a tendency to like hurl you forward, which the kids love, frankly, because one of them will just land and leap forward into like a mattress topper, and the other one will somersault, which is cool, I suppose. But there's a couch out there a little ways, and I don't want anyone to like face plant in the thing. So yeah, interesting. Gonna have to move some stuff around for that. Space required equals space owned +1. Ain't that the truth? I think it should be like +6 for me at this point, because like at one point I had one more car than I had space to put them, and then I bought a pickup truck, and I still have the same number of cars. So like I had to do a lot of shuffling around just to get the red one out of here, and I have one of them that's not even here right now. So it's definitely space at a premium. What was your college major? Archaeology. Well, the degree says anthropology on it, but archaeology is one of the subfields. There are a bunch of subfields, and archaeology means different things, and anthropology means different things depending on the country, which is kind of weird. Although in the U.S., archaeology is a subfield of anthropology, and yes, anthropology was my major. I did a master's program. I didn't finish graduate school, but I had a master's program that I went to for historical archaeology, and a PhD for anthropology was like the track, but I never finished my dissertation. So bailed on that, not going back either. In hindsight, it ain't gonna work. It's my master's thesis. I think in hindsight, looking back, my master's thesis was a great idea. There was something there. My PhD was doomed to fail. That wasn't gonna work. Like it was just totally not going to work. Daughter's planning on an anthropology degree. Nice. Anthropology is very interesting. The jobs market's not super great. It kind of collapsed while I was in college. But there are subfields of anthropology, some of which are very employable, all of which are really interesting. Built a 6x8 tool shed, make room. Frozen January snow is not, it's not fun. It is worth it. It's always worth it to have more space. You know, I would say always worth it to have more space. I mean, I kind of wish I had space to like move the van into another garage where it's like a 2-car garage, but for only the van. So I could put the van in the middle, maybe move it up. Because like I stopped work, I'm going to be honest, I totally stopped working on it underneath it in the winter because it got cold and the concrete floor just sucks all the heat right out of you. So like I didn't want to be on the floor. So I totally stopped. Forensic osteology. There's one of the actual employable aspects of anthropology. Where I went for the PhD that I never finished, they also had a master's in forensic something or another that was in the same program. And it was probably half of the students there were in that program. And that was like a quick 2-year and out kind of thing, not like an eternity thing, which is more like the normal PhD route. Currently reading Fossil Men. I have never read that. Never read that. I still have all my books. You know, they charge you a fortune, but then like you can't like sell them back. Use the van as another garage. Well, the inside the van was definitely storage through the winter. It still is. Still is quite a bit of storage, but there's a lot less in there right now. You know, there's like a cat carrier thing and a couple of those planes and a sled, but considered a forensic entomology program, didn't want to go into law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, that's forensics and law enforcement kind of go together for the most part, which is kind of interesting. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to cut up dead bodies. One of the something that archaeologists sometimes run into is human remains. One of the reasons I liked my particular subfield was you hit human remains, you stop, because it's recent enough and you generally know the descendants of the people you're digging. So you find anything remotely human, you stop. And you generally have a good idea of like what's where. Like, you know, here's a house, here's a campfire, here's a trash pit. You're not going to find any humans in there. I hope. We did find a tooth once, but it could have been a deer incisor. Could have been a human one. We still stopped the other way, you know, make a bunch of phone calls. And I think the consensus on that particular dig, when we called the guy, he's like, yeah, people lose teeth when they're eating sometimes. Keep digging. Okay, kept digging. Didn't find any more people. Sometimes you just gotta throw a tooth away. Sometimes they just fall out. I have a 6-year-old and she's losing teeth now. You know, and she gets excited. She's like, oh, I want to knock this tooth out. Like, just wait. Don't knock it out. Wait until it falls out. You know, you don't want to be walking around with like a bunch of like missing spots. Just missing like 1 or 2 at a time is enough. At least I think. Uh-oh, my light shut off. I'll live. It's getting really dark outside. It's getting dark earlier now, but at least it's not so cold. So is anyone interested in seeing anything in particular? Next big project besides the lathe? Well, I want to finish the lathe. Then I kind of want to get back on the van, although I think I'm still not going to make videos when I get back on that. I would really like to get that table. Well, I say table. It's the bowling alley, you know, with the strikes on it, the section of bowling alley. I want to get that made into a table because I kind of want to get that out of the way, and it's super cool. It would be a super cool table. One does not finish the lathe. Make it work. At least make it spin, and that's it. Any pottery smashing schedule. I really should have. Last week, so I had been filling the van with a bunch of rejects, and last week I needed the space, and I filled half a garbage can with smashed pottery. There's some smashed in the garbage can right now. I just didn't film any of it. I probably have some around here that's... Well, then I have to clean it up. I've just been keeping stuff in there. Buy the lathe. I was hoping to at least start one this year. The lathe, the gingery lathe. Bio lathe would be nice. I have more I don't have as much reason to have a lathe than I do to build the gingery lathe. Otherwise, I would just buy one because like the ones you buy are so much better. But I want to finish the one I have anyway. Because like that would be so useful. Like a lot of ideas I come up in my head and think like, oh, I need like 4 parts that require me having a lathe. You know, nothing major, just like little small bushings and stuff. Modified gingery lathe. That's what I'm building. Hopefully. That's what I was building months ago when I stopped. Giant unending journey of tooling and measurement. Yes. Yes. No, nothing really ends. Cast iron lathe. I was thinking about it. I was thinking of doing zinc, that Zymic alloy. I might, if I keep doing that, I might do that for the next project, the shaper. Lathe press, drill press, end mill. I don't have that much space. Have you done any more body work on the van? Not so much body work, mostly, well, define body work. I haven't like welded new stuff on. It's been mostly cleaning off. It has the Z-Bart coating where it's like tar, waxy tar that they stick all over the thing, and I've been trying to clean all that off. So that's been a major pain, cleaning that off and cutting out stuff and removing rust, and then painting over rust with sealer. And I haven't quite got the moment where it's warm. She's not crazy enough to stand out in a cold garage. Using the sheet metal shaping stuff. I haven't been making stuff for the van with the sheet metal shaping stuff, although I have used it. I don't think I have anything handy, but I did some stuff for some friends of mine. So I don't have it here. Even last weekend I was welding up. A friend of mine had some reinforcements on, like some subframe reinforcements for a car that he's building in a race car. So I was doing that. But when I do that kind of things, I don't make videos, but I just want to like do it. If you need to cast a part that don't need to drill a lot of holes in, don't make it out of Zymic. Okay, so don't drill it. Interesting. So it's hard to drill. Hello, Old School Repair Shop. Hello from Scotland. Rug Tomcat. Hello in Scotland. You know, my mom's family is primarily Scottish, I think. I have a kilt and everything. Are the wheels on the furnace holding up? Yes, except for one. 3 of the 4 are holding up. One of them, so they're like a plate, right? And I welded 4 corners in the screw holes. One of them ain't, and it's doing this. So what I didn't weld it back up. I took a clamp and I clamped the hingey part on. So there's a structural permanent temporary C-clamp holding it on. Otherwise, it's working fine. As a van build going stalled. I was just explaining that when it got really cold out here, I was doing a lot of cleanup underneath. If you do repair stuff, do you know any way to remove Z-Barting, the Z-Bart black tar coating thing? That is a pain. And when it got really cold out here, the floor got really cold, and I don't want to lay on the thing. How did you make your concert? What? I made a concert? Heat. Remove it with heat. I can do heat like a plumber's torch. I got a plumber's torch. I was using like mineral spirits and stuff. You look forward to my videos. Great. Glad to hear it. I hope I make more of them. Scottish, hence the ginger. Yes. Yes, I don't think no one has ever questioned me on that. Sounds like you need to make a mechanic rolly cart. Yeah, I was thinking about that, but hang on. I'll show you a second. One block away from me at a garage sale. This for $10. It rolls pretty nice. One problem though, I spilled oil on it. And I tried looking this up, and there are people trying to like sell these for money. And I'm like, but then I wouldn't have a cart anymore. Plus mine's kind of beat up. So yeah, I have a creeper. I do have a creeper. Not dry ice. Dry ice might work. Huh. Haven't thought about that. A torch. A torch is probably easier to get. Can't see anything, all pixelated. I must not have a great. Can I be in your videos? Probably not. Here. I'm gonna turn off. I'm gonna do something risky here. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna do something risky. Okay, I'm live again. Did that disconnect me too hard? Scrape it off. Okay, torch and scrape it off. Keeping fire extinguisher close by. Remove some off your car build. Dry ice works too. Okay. I got the fire extinguisher. It's mostly still good, I think. Plumber's torch is inside somewhere. The map gas torch. And in high res. Great. Looks good now. Okay, good. I disconnected Wi-Fi, so now we're doing on mobile data. Looks better. Good. My wife made me some tea and put it in this. It's keeping me good and hot. Although my fingers are still cold. If you had some time, you offered up. Well, I appreciate it. I already have someone roped in who's convinced that he wants to help work on a car. Heat gun works too. Really? Like one of these? I had one in arm's reach. Oh, never mind. The box is in arm's reach. Actual heat gun's gone. Any future collabs? None that I know of. I don't have any planned. I barely have future videos planned. I generally have them planned like a week in advance tops. Because I'm just, kind of crazy. Have you considered doing a cast iron skillet pour? I have not considered that. Like make a cast iron skillet with cast iron? Now I'm kind of curious where the actual heat gun is. Because I usually keep things in the boxes. Huh. You mean like make a cast iron skillet? That would be pretty interesting. I have a lot of cast iron. I'm not sure my sand would work for it. Because I have Petrobond. And I think Petrobond doesn't like hotter than copper temperatures. I do have powdered bentonite and other sand, so I can make green sand. I just, again, haven't got around to it yet. Got your own car build too. Yeah, they fill up. I think if I didn't have the van, I would probably be tearing into something else. Like that red car. I mean it doesn't need like restoring or anything. There's just a couple of mechanical things that I need space to like remove a bunch of stuff to get to them. Also, it'd be nice to like detail it and stuff. Sand cast. Yeah, I want to make some green sand. And I have powdered bentonite. Like some people take the like cat litter or oil dry and grind it up. But you can actually buy like ultra fine powdered greens bentonite clay. And it's really cheap. Like I don't remember how cheap, but like cheaper than you would think. Much cheaper than the effort to powderize any amount of it. You can probably buy half a ton. Turboing a small grocery getter. Like what? What are you turboing? Because like, that's not a grocery getter so much anymore, but that's got a turbo on it. And the red one's got a turbo on it. Where's my finger? There it is. That's got a turbo too, the white one. So Petrobond won't work. Probably, I don't think it's supposed to work for iron. Because it's a jewelry making stuff, and silver and gold are like they're about copper temperature. I'm not sure it would enjoy iron temperatures. And I think iron sand usually has other stuff in it too, like coal dust and other. I'm not an expert on it, but if you could cast iron, you would cast yourself custom ingot mold. That would be pretty cool. That's actually a good idea. I could cast an open face ingot mold in iron because I can melt iron. 3rd gen CRV. You're turbocharging a CRV like the SUV thing? That would be kind of neat. Do you auto X anymore? Yes. Fasted 58. Yes, I do. I did a couple this year. Although I was racing with the Milwaukee region, and they didn't have their event number 1 until like the end of August because of COVID. But yeah, I went to a couple of them. Well, like I said, just at the end of the year. And then I was thinking of doing maybe like they do some like ice autocrosses. I was thinking of maybe going to a couple of those up by Appleton, but then I just never had the free time to do it. Just stealing my wife's car. Shh, don't tell her, because my car that I autocross it's in storage for the winter. There's a really cool documentary on casting. Universe Strongest Metal. Uru. Avengers Infinity War. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't think I can harness the sun in my garage, although it might be fun. It's an RX-8, John. It's an RX-8 R3, bone stock, except I put some good tires on it, and the alignment is a little more aggressive with like camber and stuff. But and the guy who did it, he's like, it's gonna wear your tires out faster. That was like 5 years ago. Tires look brand new because it's only had like another 1,000 miles on it in that time. It's like just sits there, and then I drive it to an autocross, around the autocross, drive it home, park it again. I don't have time to do anything else with it at the moment. I think it would be fun to take the 323 to an autocross, but it would really suck at it. Like it just pushes like crazy when you try to corner. Pushes really like crazy. Can you do a monument, life-size George Washington out of brass? No, I can't. 2008 Honda CR-V. Hoping to get to 250 from 170. What engine does that have? Does that have like do they put K series engines in those now? I thought the original CR-V had like a B20 or something. K24. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably very doable then. I mean, because like people turbocharge K series stuff all the time, right? And I don't keep track of Honda stuff, but from what I know, slightly, K series engines are pretty popular. K24. Okay, we have confirmation. Not as good as the block though. Like there are different K series blocks, right? I know there were a lot of different B series blocks, but I thought like Honda blocks tended to be open deck and they weren't very tough. Am I wrong there? Cast iron only a couple hundred degrees more than copper. Yeah, but a couple hundred degrees from like 2000 to 2300 is a big jump, and that's just like melting temperature. Like it's better to get even hotter yet to pour cast iron. And the Petrobond sand is oil bonded, so like even copper will like burn the Petrobond oil right out of it. K24 SI, nice. I was looking at the SI, the newer SI, when Sarah's lease on her last car ran out, but I ended up not doing a thing. Can't do a George Washington. Political reasons? No, I have no political reasons against George Washington. I have problems with the life size. Let's see. Well, I'm just going to scroll back. Life size monument to George Washington out of brass. Life size out of brass. I can do brass. I could probably do George Washington, and I hope it would look like him. But life size, that's a lot of brass. Like my biggest crucible is only about this big. My furnace can only melt about this much iron. So yeah, not life size. I can do one this big. Is that big? 2 tons? Yeah. You would need like a crane. Big crucibles, big accidents. I can do one this big. Is that good enough? The last time I tried to do a casting of a person with a face, it looked like they had leprosy. So I'm not so sure. Copper is 1085C, cast iron about 1400C. Yeah, so I can melt cast iron, but I mean I did it in video. Poor Jon Snow, he remembers. I think Jon Snow looked like he face planted a snowmobile or a snowblower at some point with the big spinny blades. Cast a chunk of bronze. Wonder if you can hammer it into shape. Maybe bronze. From what I think bronze work hardens pretty easily, so you're likely to break it if you're trying to forge it. You probably have to anneal it a lot. I know copper, there's a lot you can do with just pure copper, like even cold forging it. K24A, air tough blocks, can push 400 with stock parts. Interesting. K24Z, no clue. Interesting. Yes, bronze work hard. That's what I thought. You'd have to anneal a lot of it. Bust of yourself using a camera for scanning. You know, I got a piece of software that'll do photogrammetry, so I might be able to do that. I would not want to make a bronze casting of myself, though. Bronze gets brittle even when annealing. Interesting. Powdered bentonite from well drilling. It might be from the well drilling industry, but it's sold readily and cheaply all over the place for pottery stuff. Because most clay that you buy for making pottery has bentonite in it, and most glazed recipes have bentonite in it. So it's like you can get as much as you want for like dirt cheap. Glad you didn't miss it. Just want to say hello, SW Dweeb. Perry, how you doing? People, I'm just going to take a minute here. People, everyone keeps asking me casting questions. Ask him casting questions. SW Dweeb. Go to him. He does a lot more of it. In fact, he's got a series where he has a bunch of like simple question and answer kind of like topics that he addresses. They're laid out pretty nice. Just ask him. I haven't casted anything in like a year probably. It's been a while. It's been a long time. Gotta run and hide now. Yes. Yes, run and hide. Copper bust sounds good. Heard there's a copper shortage. Is there a copper shortage? I got a bunch of it. You're just here for the jokes. I'm just here so I don't get sued. Or what was that? I'm just here so I don't get fined. There's that saying that was like a football player or something, and then everyone's riffing on that. It's pricey, really. Hang on a second. I still have this big honking chunk of copper. It's like a 1-inch square. It's got these holes drilled. I think it's a bus bar. This is pretty heavy. Wonder what this would be worth. Nothing, because I'm not going to sell it. It's mine. It's gonna get melted. Very helpful, easy to follow. Are you talking about SW Dweeb? Yes. About 200 retail. Tasty piece of copper. Yes, it is. It's mine. It's mine. It's my big chunk of copper. It's seriously like a 1-inch square. $3 to $4 a pound. Wow. This is, I don't know. This is probably 5 pounds because it's solid. It's pretty heavy. That's crazy. I've been buying like not metal, but like powdered metal oxides. Those aren't cheap either. Jeez. Like tin oxide was like $30 a pound, $35 a pound or something like that. Jeez. Copper oxide's cheap in comparison. Cobalt oxide, it's like they need one of your kidneys or something. How expensive that crap is. I mean, I'm glad I'm not buying the metal. Hoard all coppers. I have more copper scrap too. I have some that I haven't even added to my scrap pile. Well, you don't buy pure cobalt. That's true. I don't buy pure cobalt. I didn't even buy copper oxide. I bought copper carbonate. It's copper oxide I got copper carbonate and cobalt carbonate and tin oxide. And those are all expensive. Cobalt glazing, I just got 1 pound of it. I was thinking underglaze. Because most times you mark stuff, it burns off at 2,000 degrees. But if it's got cobalt in it, it doesn't. I haven't used any of it yet, but I've tried a little bit. That stuff ain't cheap though, so I probably won't use much of it. We're going 40 minutes. I can still feel my hands mostly. So I got these gloves. This finger is wore through, which is great though, because I use it to poke on the screen. But cobalt, you don't have to use very much of it. It's very, very small amounts. Sounds crazy, but his methods work. SW Dweeb, yeah, it doesn't sound crazy to me. I think his stuff sounds pretty good to me. I would listen to him. You know, if anything sounds crazy, it's my methods. Because mine, I just kind of wing it, but he's actually doing things well. Appleton is still cold. Stress Master, Appleton, Wisconsin? I mean, I'm not too far south from you, so I assume we'd have similar weather. Of course, when I lived in Appleton, that was cold. I remember once walking from the university to the Starbucks a few blocks away. When I got there, my eyelashes were white, corners of my eyes were frozen shut. That was cold. I don't know why I didn't wear a hat. I had a scarf though, so my neck didn't freeze. I think back then I didn't have a beard either. This bowl of Doritos cat. Yeah, that was really cool. Ain't your methods, just follow them. Yeah, so that's the thing. Most of these crafts, I guess, uh, you're not going to come up with anything new. You're just going to learn stuff that someone else already knew. I mean, the same goes for all these. Like welding, you're not going to come up with some fancy new way to weld, right? You're going to learn the right way of doing it and then just stick with that. Like there's a reason that's the way people do it. Like there's a reason that's the way SW Dweeb there does all of his castings the way he does, because it works. Now, he didn't invent a lot of it. He just does what works, and the results show. Beards help. Yes, I didn't have a beard at the time because I was in college and I was still ambitious enough to like shave. Although I did just shave recently. See how it's not like this long? This was as long as I could leave it with the beard trimmer. What was it? -10. I think it was -10, and it was windy in my face. So like the wind hit my eyes, and then my eyes would tear up, and the tears would run over here and then freeze. And then I got to Starbucks, and my wife was there, my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, and she looked at me and just started laughing because my eyes, I had like Santa Claus eyelashes. They were all white. Are you a builder? I build things, but professionally, I'm not a builder. Professionally, I'm a repairman. I fix things. I don't build things. Casting expert cited that sat by his fire eating bacon. Yeah, that guy like is an expert because he like runs a foundry. So like that's like I'm just messing around in my garage. There's a big jump between messing around in your garage to like serious hobbyist, I guess, to professionals like way up there. Like there's just no like if I did plumbing in my spare time, I would still suck compared to a professional plumber. Like it's just you can't substitute that. Planning to make your own muzzle load black powder pistol. Have you ever been interested in those? Not really. I've never been really into guns. They're cool. They seem pretty cool. Black powder pistols seem really cool, but I don't know. Just never been into it. I used to be into archery, so that's similar. Shooting things at stuff. I made a bunch of longbows back in the day. I used to make my own arrows. I don't know, just never really into guns. I have an uncle who's really into guns, but it just never did it for me. Cannons are cool. I have never cast a cannon. Cannons would be pretty cool though. Casting noob, loving every minute. It's interesting. It's fun. It's fun, but I don't think I ever like had it click in my head with the sand ramming mold making part. Like it was always like mentally a lot of work, you know? I think I just didn't do it enough, mainly. Everyone has an uncle who's really into guns. Yeah, probably. Mini desktop cannon. Wouldn't that just be a gun? Farmcraft cast a cannon on YouTube. I've seen a couple of I didn't like Duresta like took a big chunk of brass and he machined a cannon. Like that would be really cool. Is Bosch the best tools? No idea. They're not the best appliances, that's for sure. I am that uncle. Hey, you gotta have one of them. Everyone knows at least one. In the U.S., gotta have someone who's into guns. I mean, if I ever have any questions, I'm just gonna call my uncle. I mean, it's easier. But let's see. Did I miss something? Stress Master Forge up and running next few weeks. That would be pretty cool. Joe Pye did a cannon. I don't think I saw that one. Broadnax, you are also that uncle. I am not that uncle. I am the uncle with way too many tools that I never use. And my nephews are small, and they don't care. Although they were into YouTube for a while. So like I was the uncle with a YouTube channel, although they were into gaming, and my gaming channel never went anywhere, and it died a sad, slow death. Nice to see you live. Yes. Hello, Andy. Hello, hello. Bosch tools, not good tools? I actually have 0 Bosch tools. I have no Bosch tools. I can't speak from experience. I see an emoji. Alien emoji. Bosch makes good hammer drills and demo hammers. Never tried them. I don't think I have a hammer drill either. Cordless drill, worst chuck ever. You know, I had a DeWalt corded drill. The chuck was pretty good, but then I dropped it accidentally into a bucket full of slip, like liquidy clay. So basically like powdered dirt and sand in a slurry of water, and I dropped it in there. And after that, the drill still worked. The chuck stuck. And then the drill is dying, so I bought another one. And the new DeWalt corded drill looks exactly the same. The chuck was terrible. It's not nearly as good. But I got the chuck off the old one, and I can't break it free. It's like full of like, I don't know. It's broke. I killed it. I killed it really good. Have you tried 7 Days to Die? No, I haven't. It was around back when I was playing games. It was available, but I never tried it. Jealous, not sure why I said that. You're jealous? I didn't see anything. Chucks and cheap cordless DeWalt's suck too. Slurry would do it. Yeah, and I was using it for mixing glazes, so that was like powdered glass in a water. And yeah, that really killed it. Ever got into Tesla coils? Nope, I've never tried. Never tried a Tesla coil. You play that a lot, 7 Days to Die? I used to play Kerbal Space Program and Minecraft mostly. Although now my 6-year-old is into Kerbal Space Program. My other one is into 6-year-old's into Minecraft. The other one's into Minecraft and Kerbal Space Program, but he's only 4 years old. So like orbital mechanics a little bit above him, but thrust to weight ratio is very much not above him. He gets that one, and he'll like build a thing, fuel way too many rocket engines, blast them up. He'll turn off the engines and just let it slam into the ground, blow up, then revert to launch, do it over and over and over. Those poor Kerbals. But at least they get to die on their home planet. Whoops, wrong button. Yeah, you can see it's dark out there. Can you make a regular house interior look like a traditional Japanese interior? Not sure. I don't know what a traditional Japanese interior would look like. I have books on traditional Korean houses. I don't know. It's probably different. I know the architecture is very different. Japanese architecture is very unique in that it has to not fall over when it gets repeated earthquakes. And that is not as much of a restriction on other types of architecture. Rigid is good tools. I have some rigid tools somewhere. Let's see. I can see a bunch of Porter cable boxes and others. Yellow, DeWalt, Eastwood. None of them are like, I don't have any like super expensive tools. So I ordered a Makita drill chuck, transplanted DeWalt, hasn't arrived yet. Interesting idea. Better drill, better chuck. I know I really had to reef on the chuck of the DeWalt to get it off. You're 26. I think I was 26 when I was playing a lot of Minecraft. Ever tried carved closed cell styrofoam? I have not. I have not tried that. I've looked at a Makita today. Do you see it? I did not see that. I did not. I don't think I've watched any of his videos in a couple months. They're pretty interesting though, like how he tears everything apart. 51 still play Minecraft. Everyone can play Minecraft. It's fun for the whole family. Well, I'm trying to convince the 6-year-old to maybe not do creative mode so much, try survival mode. You know, because creative mode you can build stuff, sure, but it's like, it's not as much of a game, you know, it's not as much of a challenge. But in time, so it's 50 minutes. been streaming 50 minutes. I'm losing feeling in my feet. Playing with car blocks. Yep. And Minecraft. Drill for a country cell non-expert. Let's see. Where do you buy good, cheap, or discount tools online? Depends on the kind of tool. I got a lot of my woodworking tools, or not woodworking. A lot of my metalworking tools I got from Eastwood. They're similar. A lot of them are similar, very similar to Harbor Freight tools, but some of their tools are unique, and they're generally pretty affordable, and they work well enough for me. Like they're probably not going to work if you're doing like large scale, and a lot of them can't fit giant pieces, but it still works. Yeah, way scary to play on survival. Yeah, I think I pretty much, if I'm gonna play it, I only play it on survival. But like I don't play it, haven't played it alone in a long time. Like it's usually like my 6-year-old wants to play Minecraft together, so we do what she wants, you know. The game where no one can tell you what you can and cannot do. That's true. I mean, that's why I like Kerbal Space Program too. It's just like, here's a bunch of rocket parts, and there's like planets out there. Have fun. I guess there are like contracts and stuff on some of the modes, but I don't play those modes. I play science mode usually because I don't like being constricted by money. Because that's what the real world is like. So we're at 52 minutes. I am getting cold. I think I'm gonna wrap it up fairly soon. I will post a picture of the playground with the new slide and all the stuff. Left the subject was metal, and now I'm back as Minecraft. Yep, that's how it goes. I just ramble about whatever anyone tells me. Speaking of Minecraft, that new computer that I built for rendering works pretty good for video games too. Crazy good at lost phone casting. Kelly something. I'll have to check that out. I've never actually tried lost phone casting. You need a wood stove. You better believe it. I could definitely use a wood stove. Not only could I use a wood stove, but I could use the ashes I collect from the wood stove. Using my fireplace inside is kind of a pain. You know, hauling wood in there. And plus, I'm all out of wood. But I could definitely use the wood stove. The heater, the problem with the heater, which I have here, there's no power cord on the heater. I took the power cord off. And I haven't put the new power cord on. Although the power cord is in a bin that I can see from where I'm standing. So it is a possibility to get the heater back on. Although I'm kind of just waiting for it to warm up. Like it should just warm up eventually, right? I hope. 4-foot diameter log cut if you want it. A 4-foot diameter log's a bit big. I'm not sure I could fit it in here. Dust. Wood stove. It's dusty out here anyway. I was sweeping before I started the stream. What state are you in? Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Got a garden to put in. Cast iron wood stove. Any wood stove would be kind of neat. I could just start up one of the gas ones or the electric one or something, right? But I don't have any. I mean, I could have had the electric one running right now, but I don't have the power setup. Like I can run the dryer inside and do laundry, or I can run 240 volt in the garage. Can't do both. And I was using the dryer earlier. We were doing laundry. Have you visited Lake Geneva? Several times. Well, more often driving through. I have relatives in Milwaukee area, so I have driven through there and by there. It's been a while though. Probably been a year. Chroma key garage wall. That sounds like too much work. Waste oil stove works good for a garage. You like jazz? Meh, I'm ambivalent. I was briefly, when I was in college, I played violin. I don't know if people know. Briefly, for one semester, I was in a jazz band of all, well, it was like a jazz quintet of all string players, and it was called String Theory. And I was there one semester as a fill-in. I was not great. Are cheese curds really a big thing out there? Yeah, I mean you can buy them everywhere. Generally, I don't buy them that often unless I'm buying them like from the dairy place. So you get fresh ones. Otherwise, they kind of suck. The way you tell, if you bite them and they squeak, they're fresh. You can also get breaded and fried cheese curds at a lot of restaurants. Waste oil casting, that would be neat. I don't have any waste oil. Well, I guess I do have waste oil. I got some. Woodman's always have fresh ones. Yeah, Woodman's pretty good. Woodman's has a lot of turnover. That's the nice thing. So their food tends to be very fresh. Make a cheap barrel wood stove. Yeah, that would work. I don't have a lot of wood though. Got here in grocery store, Virginia. You're in Virginia. They were just cheese chunks. Well, that kind of is cheese curds. If you just buy them, they tend to be just like little lumps of cheese. But there's a difference between lumps of cheese and lumps of really fresh cheese. Fresh is in like you buy them from the guy, from the farmer, or like their outfit. Like those are good. When they get old, then they're just lumps of cheese and they're kind of meh. They're not so great. They're like tricks people say you can like try to revive them so they taste fresh. They all fail. They don't work. Hello, Mr. Rokoshan. Hello. I see you there. Bought a Fleet Farm jet heater, runs both diesel and kerosene. West Virginia to Wisconsin. That's a drive. That is a drive. They're fresh if they still moo. Yep. That's how I like steak. Medium rare. Still bloody. You know, I have two, I guess I have three electric oven kiln things out here that could heat the place up. And I got this propane one that I could have started, but the door is open, so it wouldn't really help. You know? Unfermented cheese before the cheese is formed and pressed. Interesting. So that's how they make them. They just shortcut it, throw that in a bag, and then give it to us. Because I like that. I like that. Drag it through the fire, throw it on a plate. Yes. Fresh cheese squeak on your teeth. Yes, they do. That's how you know they're fresh. That's how you know. They are pretty good. Although, if I'm honest, if I get a bag of them, and like, you know, you can get a bag this big. If I open the bag, I am finishing that bag. So I tend to try not to open too many bags of them. Because like once it's open, like you got to eat them while they're fresh. If they're not fresh, they're no good. So I eat all of them. And if it's a 2-pound bag of them, well, it looks like I'm eating 2 pounds of cheese in one sitting. And that's probably not healthy. Unfortunately, but also fortunately, the local cheese shop closed up. Since we're talking food, pineapple on pizza, actually never tried it. Never tried it. I like most things on pizza, although not olives. Not olives. It was like one of the very few times that I mentioned I don't like something. My wife was shocked because most food, I'm like, food, great, eat. And she's like, gonna make pizza and she's gonna put olives on. I'm like, whoa, no olives on pizza. She's like, what? You don't like something? Like they're totally inedible. Yep. And cheese shop closed. Heresy. You can get cheese from a butcher shop nearby, but there was a cheese shop. It was pretty small. They sold cheese and sausages and Packer paraphernalia, and the place it looked kind of sketchy. So they closed up. Backing up. Pizza without meat. Oh no, I definitely have pizza with meat. Definitely bacon, sausage, pepperoni, all of that. But no olives. You need forced air kerosene heater. Inhale once. Inhale one? I'll pass on that. Doesn't care about being in an open area for within 10 foot of the output. You know, as much propane as I have in here and electricity, I really don't have any reason to be cold. If I use over here hang on, that little electric kiln, if I turn that on and have it do its thing, by the end, when it's like done, the garage is 60 degrees or more. Middle of winter, it'll be 60 degrees in here. Of course, all the heat just goes away. But I still don't want to have it inside, even though I could use the heat in there. What's the temp in your garage? Hang on. It's 35. Olives are life. No, disagree. Olive oil is very nice. I have one, not inhale. Okay. Yeah, that's a big difference. If you make it to the fridge, they're too cold. Coldness makes the squeak go away. Yeah, that's right. Get it? Open up. Celsius, like 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 3-ish. And they're low single digit Celsius, just above freezing, like 35 Fahrenheit. But I have this nice puffy sweater. My feet, however, are freezing because I just have canvas shoes on. It's been an hour. If anyone has any final things to ask, now would be the time. I'm going to wrap it up here pretty quick. I think it's about, that makes it 7 o'clock-ish or so. $34 outside. Yeah, that's about what it is in here. Do you ever make a stand for that rail track? No, but I still have the log that I'm going to use for the stand for the rail track, and I still have the rail track. Need anything forged? I do not at the moment. Farewell. Yes. No lie cold. I don't know what you're trying to say there. It is kind of cold. Jigsaw yoga mat tiles. That's a good idea. I have a couple of those. You'll watch me getting a cold. I shouldn't get a cold. It's 8 here. Not bad for cold feet. That's good. Well, yeah, it bumps your feet up off the ground. That's a great idea. Still doing the appliance repair thing. Yep, that's the day job. Been kind of busy lately with that, if I'm honest. But, I mean, not terribly busy. Kind of busy for winter. It usually isn't as busy in the winter. -10°C here. That's pretty cold. You can keep it. We had enough cold here. We had, yeah, got really cold. It stayed really cold for a long time. Helps your back too. That's a good idea. All right, so I'm going to sign out. Whoops. I'm going to sign out, go inside, get the car back in here. We're going to have to make room and get the car back in here. Yep, I shall see everybody later. Built furnace burner not long ago. Very fun to do. Excellent. I hope it works. So cold your cheese is curling. Is curding? Have a good one. All right. Well, I'm going to head out, get some feeling back in my feet. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Hopefully next weekend we will be back in the videos. Otherwise, catch me on Discord and all of that. And I hope everyone has a good day. Good or night. Night. Sun's down. Good night.